Hi everyone, I'm Pat, and I'm going to be talking about the series premiere of The Flash, starring the DC Comics character of the same name. It's a spin-off of Arrow, and I'm just going to start off by saying how big of a Flash fan I am. I have been one for years and years and years, and when I heard they were finally doing a Flash show, or a Flash anything, I was excited. Flash is one of those characters that I've read so many of the comics, and I first liked him as a kid when he was on Justice League. I always felt he never got the attention he deserved, the limelight, because the Flash and his supporting characters are all so great and ripe with potential, and visually could be so interesting on screen. And there was never a Flash movie. There was a Flash show back in like the 90s, which I never watched. Maybe I should check that out sometime. But it was short-lived. And he just always, every time I talk to someone, they always seem to consider Flash in the tier, beneath like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. And I guess that's true. Like, he's not quite up there with the big three. But I've always felt he should be. He's a really good character. And he's part of the Justice League. And I feel like he just never gets the appreciation. Just always, he's the guy who runs fast, right? Yes, he's the guy who runs fast. Well, can't Superman do that? Yes. Is Superman faster? No. No. People argue about that? No, he's not. He's not faster. Anywho, on to the actual show. I loved it. I thought the premiere was awesome. The guy they had playing Barry Allen, Grant Gustin, I thought he did a really good job. I know some people are going to complain he's too young or he's not blonde. It's like he found the good mix that you need to be Barry Allen. You need to have both the nerd scientifical side, and you also need to have the justice seeking side, because he's a forensics analyst. So he's wanting to save people and stop crimes on one end, but he's using science and he loves it through another. Combine the two, bam, you got Barry Allen. I thought he found a good happy medium between those two really important factors with Barry. You can't make him too much of a nerd, but you also can't make him too much of a cop. He found a good medium, and I was very happy with his performance. The other thing is, I was really impressed by the visual effects in this episode. TV has come so far. Even from Smallville. I watched Smallville for years. Clark's super speed in Smallville I thought was cool. He would all slow-mo, like Matrix, and he'd have, speed bubble things behind him, as he moved. I thought, even a jump from that, this was in... We're getting into, TVs now is, matching visual effects to movies we've had in the last decade. Their visual effects have gotten that good where you can do things every week that it would take them forever to do in big budget movies 10 years ago. It's awesome. It's awesome. I thought his speed effects were done really well, both the running just flashing by you, and then I thought the Weather Wizard, I don't know if they called him that, but the bad guy of the episode, Martin, in the comics he's Weather Wizard, and I thought they did his weather manipulation pretty well for this budget. This isn't even an HBO show like Game of Thrones where you can do those massive visual effects characters and scenes, but with what they have, they did really, really well. I was super impressed and perfectly content with the visual effects, which is important for a character like Flash because his powers are so visually interesting. And you have to buy that this guy is actually, moving as fast as they say he's moving. So I thought that was done really well. I love the Flash's costume. I think they did a really good job converting it to live action because it could, like so many other superhero costumes, look absolutely ridiculous on screen. And if you just took what was in the comics and tried to do it verbatim on screen, he would look ridiculous. But they found a really good... They just made it darker, and I don't know, they just made it look appealing on screen. It was good. It was good. That worried me. That always worried me. The moment I heard there was going to be a Flash show, I'm like, please make him look good. And the thing is, I wouldn't have liked if they decided to just, pull an X-Man and not done the costume, you know? I needed some version of the Flash costume because it's so iconic. I wouldn't want to see him running around like a red hoodie like Flash on Smallville. Yeah. He was still cool, but he wasn't Flash. This episode also had a lot of cool Easter eggs for comics fans or people who know the Flash. There was a cage that was busted out of and it had a label, Grodd. So Gorilla Grodd is loose. If we're ever going to see him on the show, that'd be awesome. I hope they could pull it off. It's going to be hard doing a evil gorilla. Planet of the Apes did it pretty well, but that was... I hope it's awesome if they have Grodd. I hope he is just as savage and smart as he is in the comics. They also had, the very end of the episode, the professor there, he went into the secret room in Star Labs, and he was looking at newspaper articles. I don't know if you could even call them newspaper since they were all digital. Welcome to the future. They were from the future, and it said how Flash disappeared during a crisis, which makes me think they're gonna kill Barry by having him save the universe in a similar fashion to how he died in the comics. I don't know if they're actually going to go through. I really doubt we're going to have like a straight from the comics Crisis on Infinite Earths in the show, because I don't see them being able to pull off something that big. But that was interesting. And the fact he could walk. I was like, I knew you were evil. I knew it. And then, you had his supporting characters like Iris and her father and Eddie Thawne. His last name, if you know anything about Flash comics, should ring a bell, because Eobard Thawne in the comics is Reverse Flash, who is the guy who kills Barry's mom in the comics, and it looks like also killed her in the show. But I can't tell. Is the Reverse Flash in the show, is it gonna be Thawne, or is it the creepy professor who can walk when he pretends to be in a wheelchair? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with Reverse Flash. Yeah. Anything else I have to say about the episode? Oh, there was a cameo by, not really a cameo even, a full-on scene with Green Arrow from Arrow. And it was good. It was a really funny little scene where kind of get to connect the two shows right off the bat, but not so heavy-handedly that you need to feel like you need to watch Arrow to understand the scene. But it was a good episode. It was a really good premiere, and as a Flash fan, I'm more than happy that he's finally getting the attention he deserves, and I'm really looking forward to what the rest of the series has in store. It's going to be great. So I'm going to be reviewing every episode each week, along with Arrow and the originals, and possibly some other shows, but I'll be reviewing Flash every week. So I hope to see you there. Have a good one.